around 20 years that KYLAND has been in this industrial market. And during these 20 years, we have got hundreds of software and design and authorized patents in the industrial Ethernet switch market. And we also participate in the design of three international standards. The first one is IEEE 37 and 0.238. This standard is related to the PTP tie synchronization in the industrial application. It is the power profile of the PTP tie synchronization. And the second one is the international standard IEC 62439 -6 DRP redundancy protocol. This is a protocol equivalent to the NRP and PRP and HSR. And it can provide the high redundancy performance to the industrial network. And the third one is the international standard IEC 61158. This is a standard related to the field bus systems in the industrial application. And on the company level, we got the following 4 certifications. We have the basic ISO 14001, the environmental certification, and we have also the ISO 9001. This is quality certifications according to ISO. Besides these 2 basic certifications, we also have the roles for the European Union market, and this has been a mandatory certifications for the European market currently. And if you want to sell your product to the European market, you must have this roles certification, and it registers 6 mandatory materials used in your equipments. Besides, we have the IRIS certification. This is based on the ISO 9001, and it is an extension of ISO 9001, and it is designed for the railway market. And KYLAND is the first company in China to get these certifications in the industrial application. For the product level, we have the following certifications, which include the IEC X and the ATEX, and also the Class 1 DIV2. These certifications are for the anti-explosion market, such as coal mine applications and the oil and gas applications. For the railway applications, we have the EN 50121 and the EN 50155. For the power utility, we have the KEMA certification from DNV and GL, and and we also have CE and FCC and CUL US for the European markets and American and the US market and the Canada market. Power utility is always a key approach for KYLAND, since, as we all know, that electric power is the base of human being life, and also the base of industrial production. You can do nothing without the electric power. So KYLAND focus on it, and actually in the communication in the power utility, it is a long-term evolution in this area, in this communication protocols. In the past, it is the US approach DMP 3.0, and there is also European experience in IEC 870.5 and 0.6, and also the Modbus from Schneider. There are many standards and protocols in this area, but they cannot cooperate with each other. So it is hard for the customer to integrate different vendors into a single system. Then it comes out the IEC 61850. The purpose of IEC 61850 is just to integrate all the devices from different vendors into a single system. And now it has become the international standard for the power system communication. So I will focus on this standard and this standard today. So what is IEC 61850? It is a future-proof communication standard in the substation automation systems. And it describes the communications using the object-oriented method to provide the guidance for the communications in substations. It provides the following, the communications between the substations and the communications inside the substations. And inside the substation, there is primary equipment and secondary equipment. The primary equipment is just the devices that's directly connected with the high voltage. And the secondary equipment is just the support devices to provide support for the primary equipment, just something like the Ethernet switch, the IEDs, the protection relays, and the merge units. In the substations, it takes advantage of the MMS packets to deal with the messaging systems for transmitting the real-time process data, and also monitor the current status of the IEDs and the Ethernet switches. And this is the introduction of the KYLAND laboratory. KYLAND laboratory is founded in 1927 in Netherlands, and it is a key member of IEC, EE, and generic. But at 2011, it is acquired 74% of shares by DNV and GL. Now it has been KYLAND, KYMA from DNV GL, and only KYMA group, they have more than 15,000 of employees worldwide. And now it is the most populated and recognized IEC 61850 testing and certification organizations in the world. And all our certifications for the power utilities are done at the KYMA laboratory. All the tests in the KYMA certification are based on the IEC 61850-3 that you can get a gold level. And following, I will show you the KYMA test report of KYLAND devices. It is mainly divided into two parts. The first part is for environment test. It is based on the hardware requirements in the power in the substations. It has 30 tests and conducted in more than 100 pages. And the second part is the foundational tests. It is mainly the software, based on the software, and there are more than 10 pages for this, including the VLAN, the queues, and the rain recovery protocols, and also the goods transmission on the Ethernet switch. You can see that this is our certification of KYLAND. You can see that this is a gold mark on the certification, which means that we have passed all the tests according to 61850 and IEEE 1613. And here is the details of the reports. You can see that this is the climatic tests, and the temperature. This is the temperature test, and it ranges from -40 to 85 degrees centigrade, and it can fulfill almost all the requirements in the industrial application, and also the damp heat. And next is the ENC test. Since it is a harsh there is a harsh environment in the power in the substations, and when the breakers and the transformers are stopped and open again, it will generate the electric and magnetic induction to the equipments in the substations, and it will damage the components in the equipment. So all the devices in substations should have the mechanism to resist the damage. You can see that according to the past, that we can that our device has passed all the tests for rated to ENC. And another thing is the power source unit test. Since power source is the base of the electric device, we should ensure the stability and the reliability of the power source on the Ethernet switch. Then it can provide the long-term running of the whole device. You can see that our power source in the device also has passed all the tests according to the standard. And next is the foundational test. It is mainly about the software part. And in the substation, the VLAN is the most used. VLAN is the most used function. For each bay, all the devices in each bay is tagged with a different VLAN, and we should use the VLAN to provide different segment for different areas. So it is the most required features. And the second one is the priority tagging. Since in the smart substations, according to 61850, there are three kinds of packets: the MMS packet, the goods packet, and the sampled value packet. The goods packet and the sample value packet is the most real-time packet, and we should ensure the highest priority for these two kinds of packets. And we should guarantee also the real-time performance of these two kinds of packets. So we should tag it as the highest priority, and MMS can be less priority compared with these two packets. And also, we should have the high performance of ring protocols in the substations. We have our private DT rings and public DRPs and also RSTPs. Now we have also got our IEC 62439-3 HSR and PRP solutions. And now we are doing the testing also in the KYLAND to test the PRP and HSR performance. And here listed the KYLAND certificated products of KYLAND. It covers from the Daniel design and the recommend design, You can see that it's 63000 and 63000A and 63000 and 9A. And also the rack mount is the GPT series and the Secon 3024P. And all these devices are the gold mark according to the KYLAND certification, which means that they have passed all the tests according to the standard. Now let's go to the product line. Here is the home product line of KYLAND products. The first one is the rack mount Ethernet switch. We have 1U unit device and a 2U unit device. 1U unit, you can see that it can provide around 30 ports on a single switch. And for the 2U units, it can provide around 50 ports, also including some 10 gigabytes Ethernet ports. And the second one is Dень Ethernet switch, including some matched and unmatched Dень Ethernet switch. And the third one is the IEC 62439 solution, the red box covering the PRP and HSR protocol. And the fourth is the EN 50155 Ethernet switch. It is a vehicle mount and mostly used in the railway application. And it is IP67 protection. And the port on this Ethernet switch are the N12 design to achieve the higher accuracy, to achieve the higher reliability. Except this, we have also the integrated management platform to manage all the KYLAND Ethernet switch. Now we have KVision and KView to manage all the Ethernet switch. Besides that, we also have a protocol gateway product. Since just now I have introduced that in the power communications, there are many protocols till now. There are the DMP, there are Modbus, there are IEC 61850. All these protocols, the devices from different vendors are based on the different protocols. When you are trying to integrate them in a single system, you should translate between the different protocols and update to the SCADA system. In this stage, you can use our protocol gateway to do the translation. And another product is the time synchronization. Since the industrial plant is always isolated from the internet, you cannot directly get the time synchronization from the internet. So you should install a time synchronization time server in each industrial plant. And let's go into details. The first one is the rack mount Ethernet switch. First one is the 2U unit design rack mount switch, Secon 3448G and 6448G. The first 3 and 6 means layer 2 or layer 3. So it is layer 2 and layer 3 optional. And the second 4 means it can support up to 10 gigabytes Ethernet ports. And the third 48 means it can support up to 48 1 gigabyte Ethernet ports. So it can support up to 52 Ethernet ports. And the second one is Secon 3028 GPT. 28G means it can support up to 28 full gigabyte Ethernet ports. And PT here means PTP, PTP with hardware-based time synchronization. And it can have the accuracy up to around 100 nanoseconds. Here we still call it as a switch, but as for me, it is more than a switch. It is an integration platform, since it is modular design, and you can not only install the Ethernet modules in it, we also have the additional time synchronization modules and red box modules for the platform. For example, if you install a time server modular into this Ethernet switch, then the switch will just synchronize with the antenna, with the GPS antenna, with the GLONASS antenna, and then give the synchronization to the end devices on the Ethernet port, while the NTP or SNTP or the PTP protocols. So it is powerful than a single switch. Besides, the power modular is also hot swappable and modular design. For example, if your power source, if your single power source, one of your power source is damaged for some reason, and the switch is installed in the power substation. If you do not have this power swappable power modular, you need to stop the communication in the substation and then replace the switch. But with the hot swappable power modular, you can just plug out the power modular and insert in a new one, and will not have any influence on the current operation of the in the substation. And this product is also full certificated with the KEMA, CEFCC, and the railway certifications, and also NEMA certifications. And this device is a well-sold product in KYLAND. More than 2,000 pieces are installed and operation in Chinese state market, in Chinese state grade, and more than 1,000 pieces is already installed and operation in European state grade. And another two ongoing project is Thailand substation project and Turkey substation project. And there are already 200 pieces installed in Thailand. And at the end of last year, we got another big project in Turkey that involved in 520 pieces, and all these pieces has been delivered to Turkey now. And during these days, our partner in Turkey are just doing the trainings for the end users. And the third model is the SICON 3024P. The P here means just designed for the power industry, and it is ENC level 4 designed. It can support up to 4 gigabyte Ethernet ports. These 4 ports are used for interlink of the Ethernet switch, and also used for the up layer for the SCADA system. And another 100 megabyte ports are used to connect it with the IED's protection relays and merging units. And this device also supports IEC 61850 MMS management, and it can be integrated into the MMS SCADA system. This product is more of cost-efficient solutions than SICON 3028 GPT. But GPT is more powerful than this device. This is the best sellers in the past years in KYLAND, and there are more than 10,000 pieces have been installed in Chinese state grade, and more than 5,000 pieces have been installed in has been purchased by Schneider, Honeywell, Toshiba, ABB, and SEL outside China. And another ongoing project is that there are more than 500 pieces will be installed in Mexican state grid. And the fourth one is another, is the most cost-efficient solution. This is the second 2024 N. The N here means single management. It can support the single management function and the most cheap and the cheapest solutions in KYLAND rack mount switch. And here is another latest product, Silicon 6432G. This is also layer 2 and layer 3 optional. And the 4 here means it can support up to 10 gigabyte Ethernet ports, and also another 32 1 gigabyte ports. Since it has big bandwidth on the device, so we selected the cache up to 32 megabytes. And it is the largest cache in the industrial switch. And it also can ensure the IP40 protection level. It can support the DRP protocols, which can have the recovery time less than 20 milliseconds. Also, it is IPv6 ready for the future-proofing applications. And it has a wide temperature range from -40 to 75 centigrade degrees. And this is hardware design for the Silicon 3024P. It is mainly focused on the real panel. You can see that according to the design, all the ports and the LED indicators are on the same panel. Since this is a requirement from many customers, they want to have all the indications and ports on the same panel. So we make this product. You can see that the console port is also on the real panel. All the thing is on the real panel. And next is the Silicon series steering wheel managed Ethernet switch. Since we have been 20 years, and in the past 20 years, we have many products for different applications. For example, for the video surveillance applications, we have the Silicon 3010G and the Silicon 3008 and Silicon 3014 GV. GV means gigabyte video. We have these two kinds of products for the video surveillance to provide a large bandwidth. And also for the Profinet application, we have the Silicon 3008 TN Ethernet switch. And if the customer want to have the PoE function, we can provide the Silicon 3307 S. This is a past stage. We have different products for different applications, but actually it is hard to maintain. So in these several years, we are doing the migrations and the integrations. Now we have the latest steering wheel Ethernet switch, Silicon 3008 series, and the Silicon 3000S. This product integrated all the advantages of other devices. The port ranges from 6 to 20. Actually, 20 ports are enough for almost all the steering wheel applications. And the ports can support 100 megabytes and 1000 megabytes optional. And it also supports many industrial protocols such as Modbus, Ethernet IP, Profinet. This means that the customer can monitor the Ethernet status, while these three protocols Also, we also support the NRP inside the Profinet. And on the time synchronization level, we can support the normal NTP and SNTP. Besides that, we can also support the PTP, BC, and the TC, which is also hardware-based and provide the accuracy up to 100 nanoseconds. And this device has got the 4 certifications, including the KYLAND certification. And if the customer wants to design a IPv6 Ethernet network, they can also use our Silicon 3000A. It is IPv6 ready. And this IEEE and PoE function is also available on Silicon 3000 and Silicon 3000S. We can support AT and AF, these 2 standards, and provide at most 30 watts on each port. And also large buffer is essential for the video surveillance systems. Besides that, the booting time can reach up to 15 seconds. And it can also support the additional KYCB. It is used for configuration backup and restoration. What's more, the most important thing is that it is still a cost-efficient solution. Even we have many functions on this. The following is the KYCB. The accessory of the Silicon 3000 and Silicon 3000 and the A. Let me introduce how to use this one. Since in many projects, we'll have on-site engineer to help the customers to configure the Ethernet switch. After they finish the configuration, they can use the KYCP. They can use the KYCP to back up the configurations in the Ethernet switch to the KYCB. They just need to connect the KYCB on the console port and click update in the web page. Then the configuration will be uploaded automatically. Then after the configuration, maybe the engineer will leave the plant, and later the maintenance guy will do the maintenance job in the plant. But he is not a professional. But he is not professional in the communication and the switch, so he do not know anything about the switch. Maybe after several years, there is something wrong with one single Ethernet switch, and he just only need to connect the KYCB on the console port. He just only need to get a new replacement and connect the KYCB on the console port and just boot up the Ethernet switch. Then the configuration will be automatically loaded to the switch, to the new switch, and recover the network. In this period, he don't need to know anything about the switch. No, he don't need to know the configuration status of the switch. Just plug and play, then the network will be recovered. And next solution is our IEC 62439-3 PRP and HSR zero packet loss solution. Now we have 2 products. The first one is the Ruby 3A. The second one is the modular for the Silicon 3028 GPT. Actually, they are totally the same on the software level. They have the same functions. They have the same performance on the functions. And inside the solution, we also integrated the IEEE 1588 PTP protocols inside, and it also can support the higher accuracy within 100 nanoseconds. Besides, it is also hardware-based, and it also supports the future-proof code box. On the management level, it can support the management based on the MMS packet, and it can be monitored while the SCADA systems with 61850. And it has also passed the certification, KYLAND certification. And maybe some of you here do not familiar with the IEC 62439 protocol. Now I will give you a comparison between the most common used RSTP and the PRP and HSR protocol. The first one is RSTP. If you use RSTP, one route will be selected, and there will be another pace in the blocking pace to avoid the broadcast storm. So it will avoid the ring. Now the network will be in this stage, and the data flow between the two laptops are in this one. But suddenly the flow link is linked down, and the root will announce the network and ask the block pace to be forwarding status. Then the flow will be changed to another side. So it has a change period between blocking and forwarding. According to the different protocols, it will have different performance. If you use RSTP, it will be around 1 second. If you use some private protocols, it will be around several microseconds. But if you use PRP and HSR, it will be different. It will be a different concept. Here, this is a PRP network. You can see that the two laptops need to communicate with each other. And there will be a interlink port and a LAN A and LAN B port on the red box. The laptop is connected on the interlink port, and another two LAN A and LAN B ports are connected with LAN A and LAN B switch. When the red box receives the packet on the interlink port, it will duplicate the packet to both LAN A and LAN B ports. So, which means that on LAN A and LAN B switch, there will be two same packets always transmitted. So when there is a single loss on one single LAN, there is no influence on another LAN. And so there will be no recovery concept. And it can ensure the zero packet loss between the two laptops. Just now, this is a PRP network. PRP means parallel. It has two LANs. And another concept is HSR. HSR means seamless. It is based on the ring topology. You can see that the right is a ring and the left is a ring. It is familiar with PRP. There is also an interlink port and LAN A and LAN B. And the port, the red box will duplicate the packet received on the interlink port and transmit it into two directions. So it will still be two packets in the network, and one direction is filled, another direction is still transmitting. So it can also guarantee the zero packet loss. And this network since you can see that there is the left ring and there is a left ring and there is a right ring. So there is another application that's called code box, can coupling two rings together. You can see that there are two links for both. There are two links between the two HSR rings, one link and two link. One link field, another link will still be coupling link. In this code, our solution also supports the code box. You can use two Ruby 3A to interlink, to connect the interlink ports, and another two pairs of LAN A and LAN B is used to coupling two HSR rings, like this. Next, it is KYLAND and Oppo series Ethernet switch. Oppo Ethernet switch is the entry-level unmanaged switch, and the port ranges from 5 to 20. You can select from the port quantities. And compared with Oppo series, we also have the KYLAND series. KYLAND series is designed to be have higher ENC level and IP protection. So it is more common used in the power utilities, oil and gas. For the video surveillance, we often recommend the Oppo series. And next is the KYLAND series. This is mainly the optical fiber converters. The first one, KYLAND 200. It is a serial and Ethernet converter. It can convert between the serial signals and the Ethernet signals. And other 5 devices are the Ethernet and are the copper and optical converter. We can focus on this one, KYLAND 300 and N. N here means simple management, which means that these devices can also has its own IP address and support the SNMP protocol. We can also integrate it into a network management system and manage the current status, such as the port status, such as the data flow status on the ports. It will be easier for the maintenance for the customer. And next part, it is the network management system. We have three products in this session. The first basic one is KYTools. This is a simple configuration tools, and you can finish the branch configuration with these tools, such as you have around 100 Ethernet switch, you need to change the IP address and do other things, you can use this KYTools. It's easier to install for all the computers. And the second one is commission. It is a management systems. It aims at the monitoring of the network devices while SNMP protocol. It can support up to 1,000 network nodes. Besides, it can not only detect the KYLAND products, it can also detect the third-party devices, such as Moxa, such as Hashman. And the third product is KView. It is the latest network management of KYLAND. This product integrates the monitoring performance, the monitoring function of commission and the branch configuration of KYTools together. And you can not only monitor and also branch configure the different switches. it can support up to 10,000 Ethernet switch integrated into the systems. And another highlight is that it is very open. It can open for the third-party devices. It can remote monitor the third-party devices, and also it can be integrated into third-party SCADA systems. Here it is the architecture of the KYLAND, our second generation monitoring system. And the first stage is that after the installation of the KYLAND, it will scan the whole network with the ICMP protocol. After the scan, it will automatically draw the Ethernet switch or draw the network nodes on the panel, and then automatically draw the links also. Then you can monitor the whole status on the Ethernet of all the Ethernet switch. You can get the real-time status. You can also get the alarms. The alarms is always using the trip in the SMP protocol, and the switch will automatically generate alarm while trip protocol to the remote system. And you can see that it can also create the graphs to report to the maintains guide. And the second one is KView 2.0. Compared with the commission. Commission is based on the client and server architecture, but KView is based on the browser and the server architecture. It is the main difference. This is a whole architecture of the KView, and you can see that the collector can, if this is an independent IP device and it do not support SMP protocol, the collector can get the information, while the ICMP protocol, if it is a SMP device supported, then we can pull the data while the SMP, also while the trip, and and also get the SAS logs from the SMP device. After the collection, the collector will send the alert status and performance to the deep layer. In the deep layer, you can see there are many independent systems integrated in here. And the basic is the MyCircle and the MongoDB database. Although it is very complicated here, but for the customer, it is only a browser. He can use a simple and common used browser such as IE, such as Chrome, such as Firefox. Then he can easily get the current status of the whole network. And here is the advantage of the KView 2.0. First, it has higher capability. It can monitor the status of around 10,000 network elements. It is very powerful. And second, it is very open. It can monitor the third-party device, and it can also be integrated into the third-party SCADA systems. And now we are having a project in Thailand. The customer, it is a project based on the power transmission systems, and it is started several years ago. And in that project, the customer first use the rugged CON switch, and there are around 3,000 rugged CON switch in the network. And they also use the rugged CON management system to monitor the whole network. Later, they extend the network and get another 1,000 Hashman switch inside. And later, they again get another 1,500 Moxa Ethernet switch in this network. So now in this network, there are Ethernet switch from 3 different vendors, and the network management system should monitor the whole status for different vendors. And also the quantities of the Ethernet switch is very large, and the RuggedCon network management systems cannot exceed the capability of RuggedCon network management system. So the customer wants to find a new network management system to monitor all the switch. So in this project, we provide our KView 2.0. 2.0 can monitor 10,000 Ethernet switch, and also it has passed the test to monitor the switch from 4 vendors: Moxa, KYLAND, Hashman, and RuggedCon. All the switches can be monitored centralized monitored by the KView 2.0. And it is based on the distributed design and BS architecture. With these two points, the maintenance guy can easily remotely log on to the website of the net via the internet, and from any area, and he can get the whole status of the network easily. Besides, the KView 2.0 can support the Windows and the Linux systems. And this is also another successful project in China railway application. You can see that it is step-by-step monitoring. First, you can have a glass at the whole railway administration, and there are many lines across China. And the second one, you can collect into one jurisdiction line, and in this single line, you can see there are many network nodes in this line, and then you can again collect into one site, one stations, and in this station there is equipment room, and in this equipment room there are 2 cabinets, and in this cabinet there is a Ethernet switch installed already, and then you can check the real-time status, the port status, and other status on this panel. And next we will go to the timing solutions. This is our first product. It is a precise time tester named EPT100. Our main customer is a Chinese state grid. The customer uses the precision time tester to test the accuracy of other brands. In this way, we should guarantee that our precision time tester should have the higher accuracy than other brands, so it can use to test other time servers. And this is our second generation products. It is a precise time tester. The precise time tester are all based on the PTS time series. These are the time servers. the time servers are based on the design of processing time tester, so it can also provide the high accuracy. Now we have the rack mount ones, PTS 10 and 10A, 30 and 30N and 30E. And another new device is PTS Deng 200. It is Deng designed. And later we have the time converter PTC 1000 and 2000. And another product is the time signal distributor PDD 10. And this is a comparison for the PTS time server. Now we have these so many PTS time servers. You can see that PTS 10A has more channel imports than PTS 10. PTS 10A can support almost 2 channels import, which are redundant between each other. And the PTS 10A can install high accuracy oscillator, crystal oscillator inside. It can support the rapid oscillator, and it also supports the redundancy power modular. For PTS 30 and when we compare PTS 30 with PTS 10 and 10A, it has more outputs. Since 30 is 3U design, it has more output on the real panel. And it also can support the rapid oscillator. And its PTS 30N can support 8 slots on the real panel, and PTS 30E can support 15 output slots on the real panel. But 30E is an extension clock. Extension clock means that it cannot connect with the antenna. It's just used for time signal extension. It can only accept the time signal from other time servers. And next one is our latest time synchronization product. It is DR200. The most highlight is that it is Deng design and very compact and easy to install in the customer's solutions. Since in many solutions, the customer only need NTP time servers for their systems. You can see that the PTS DR200 is enough. It has 2 ports, 2 Ethernet ports to provide NTP, SNTP, and also PTP synchronization. And another project example is that one of our customer install one single PTS DR200 in plant 4, and they install one DR200 in one single turbine to provide the local synchronization for the end devices while the RB signal, which means one DR200 for one turbine. And since it is very cheap, so we can recommend this device for each turbine. And for the following is our solutions. The first one is convention design solutions. In this solution, we can see that in many legacy substations, the end devices, the REDs, do not support PDP synchronization. They only support the RB. And in some high voltage stations, there are hundreds of IEDs installed. So which means that we should have hundreds of signals for the IEDs, one channel for one end device. So we will need many channels, many output channels for the devices. So in this solution, we can provide true PTS30N for for a redundant to form a redundant group, and both PTS30N can accept the time signal accept the time signal from the GPS and the GLONASS systems, and we have the mechanisms to keep the redundancy, and it will choose better signals from GPS and another time signal, another satellite systems. And for the lower layer, it will be redundant output for the low layer. And at the low layer, we can just use the extension clock. And it accepts the time signals while the RLB. And then it distributes the input RLB signals to the output RLB signals. And the second solution is the pure IEEE 1588 impairment. Since in the current smart substation design, the IEDs have already supported the PTP time synchronization based on the Ethernet. So we can just take advantage of the transmission network and send the PTP time signal on the transmission network, and then the whole network will be synchronized with the PTP protocol. And it is very easy to use. Do not use additional wirings for RLB. And this is solution 3. This is most about the last mile convention between the different protocols. You can see that it is still a IEEE 61850 design, and most devices are already PTP supported, but still some devices, some end devices do not support PTP. It still support the RLB. So we can use PTP to synchronize most devices, and for the non-PTP supported and devices, we can use the converter to convert from PTP to RLB. Then we can finish the last mile synchronization. And next, it is the DGA series protocol gateway. Here, now we have 4 modules, A2, A4, A8, and A16. The difference is that it can provide different quantities of the serial ports. A2 means 2 serial ports, A4 means 4 serial ports, and A8 for 8 serial ports, and here 16 serial ports. And A2 has 1 additional Ethernet port. A4 also has A4 has 2 Ethernet ports for different directions. And A8 and A16 both have 4 Ethernet ports. And since DGA series is mainly a protocol gateway, the basic parameter of a gateway is that how many protocols it is supported. On this level, you can see that here listed some of the supported protocols in DGA series. We can support the basic IEC 60870-5 protocols from 101 to 104. Also, we can support the basic Modbus and DMP. These are all the public protocols. And here you can see that we also support some private protocols, such as the protocol from SEL and Arriva. Since in the past project, in the Provise project, we had cooperation with these devices, and we developed the protocols in the projects. And these are all the traditional protocols in the power utility. And here you can see that we also support the IEC 618 MMS protocol for the smart substations applications. Besides MMS protocols, we can also support the Goose subscriber and publish on the device. Besides the protocol library, the DGA series also supports some additional functions. It has the soft PLC to do the online calculation for the input values. And also it can support the online environment printing. And also it has the initial database to keep the values. And also it supports the SOE monitoring. This device is very open, and we can develop new protocols according to the customer requirement. And this is a typical application diagram of DGA series. You can see that here we use a DGA rack mount rack mount device, and it can simultaneously collect the data from different devices, while Ethernet port and while serial port and while CAN port, and then we can use two Ethernet ports to provide a create a redundant group and update the values collected to the up layer SCADA systems. And one port will work as master status, will work as master, and another port will work as slave. And master will forward the date, and the slave will at the listening status. When the master is linked down, the slave will take the role of master and continue on the transmission. So we also have a redundant function for the DGA series. Next, it is the KHW series Ding Modbus gateway. This one is very similar to the initial DGA series, but DGA series is a device with 4 protocols supported. While in many applications, the customer only need to use the Modbus. They only need to convert from Modbus TCP to RTU or vice versa. So here we can use this cost-efficient solutions. And it only is to convert between TCP, between Modbus TCP and RTU. And it has 1 or 2 Ethernet ports, and another 1 to 4 serial ports according to the different module. This device also supports the transparent mode and agent mode. On the Ethernet port, it can connect we can create 16 TCP master and the client service on the port. And for the serial port, it can support at most 128 master and slave nodes. I think this is and for the four serial port modules, you can support around 500 serial devices. This is enough for the application. And also the serial ports support true kilo voltage isolation protection to achieve the higher reliability. And it is also industrial design with wide temperature range. Also, it is full certificated. And next one, it is all-in-one solution. All-in-one means switching plus protocol convert and the DIDO inside. On the switch side, it is actually just Silicon 3000A, and it supports the four software and hardware functions of Silicon 3000A. It can support the network redundancy protocols such as DRP, STP, and RSTP, and DT ring also. It can, besides the multicast protocols and the queues functions are also supported. And also many other industry Ethernet industry protocols such as Modbus, Ethernet IP, and others. On the serial port part, it can support the I/O interface. It can support import and output, and also time sequence. The time sequence accuracy, recording accuracy of SOE can be up to 1 millisecond. And it can also support numerous power and industry automation data protocols. At this part, it is the same as DGA series. Besides, the IEC 61850 MMS and Goose are also supported. And it has also software PLC functions to do the programming logic control. Besides on the hardware, it can support the customized RB and also PTP time synchronization to the device. Here is the appearance of the DGCON 3000. Actually, almost all the service ports are on the front panel, so we can see the front panel. At the left side, there are two optical fiber ports, and there are 6 copper ports for Ethernet communication. And in the middle side, you can see there are several serial ports. It is mainly designed for the protocol conversion on the serial ports. It can connect the device while the 103, 101 serial protocol, and while the Modbus, while the DMP, you can pour in the data for the devices. On the most right side, it is DI and DO. And while DI is feed in, you can also you can also program the logic control, inside, and then output the signal on the DO ports, so it can replace some single PLCs at field. So with this device, you can replace many different equipments on site. And tomorrow, maybe I will introduce more about this DigiCon 3000. Okay, that's all.
Thank you very much, Stark. 你快喝口水。
Thank you.
Уважаемые коллеги, спасибо за слушание наших презентаций. Старк, спасибо. Коллеги, сегодняшняя презентация закончилась. Сейчас вопрос-ответ. Прошу вас написать, пожалуйста, свой вопрос в Zoom-чат. Вот, и мы по очереди ответим. Старк, 你先去喝口水吧。这么长时间，你下次Конечно, мы загрузим данную презентацию в онлайн-диск. Завтра после презентации загрузим сегодняшнюю презентацию и завтрашнюю презентацию и записи презентацию в онлайн-диск. У нас есть аналогичная презентация на русском языке. Я также загружу презентацию в онлайн-диск, но она будет сокращенная версия. Да. Stark 他问的是这个 KYLAND 支不支持其他品牌，就是
Commission 支持的。
你用英语回答他吧。
Commission can support the third-party devices, and in a project we have tested with the Moxa switch and also the Hashman switch, and we can monitor the port status and automatically topology the whole network. Or maybe I can show you a network on the commission later. I can show you a picture, which in this picture there is Moxa switch, there is Hashman switch, and the KYLAND switch, and they are all displayed on the commission.
Stark, коллега, да, наш KYLAND поддерживает интегрировать других вендоров. Сейчас Stark покажет вам, скриншот. Stark 有一个同事问，这个 KYLAND 如果支持一个新的品牌的话，就是我们可能不知道的某个品牌，就是带这个 SNMP 的，我们需要大概调试多长？如果它不支持，就需要它支持，大概需要调试多长时间
？Actually, SNMP is divided in SNMP. It is based on the MIP. In MIP, there is public MIP and private MIP. If we want to support it fastly, we need to at least we need the devices support the public MIP. Then we can make the development to integrate. If they do not support the public MIP. It is almost not available to do this. But I think that almost all brands can support the public MIP. And last time it takes around half a month to integrate a Hashman switch into Convision.
Stark， 你可以给他展示一下那张就是通讯通了的那张图。
在另外一台电脑上。
在另外一台电脑。
对，我可以等会儿 share 给他们。
Окей. То есть нет вопросов. Коллеги, завтра у нас в то же самое время будет второй тренинг. Завтрашняя тема – это о решении для электроэнергетики, для ВЭС, для нефтегаза. Также с 9 по 11. Сейчас Старк покажет вам скриншот по подключению других принтеров с нашим KYLAND. И сегодняшняя презентация заканчивается. Старк, 你看这有一个问题。
Yes. We can support the port limitation on the 10 gigabyte port, and then insert 1 gigabyte SLP in this port. It is supported. Okay, thank you.
Любые вопросы вы можете писать в нашу почту. Либо обращайся к своим дистрибьюторам.
他们好像要3.S GS rack mount PoE switch.
.今天我没有讲3.2 GS， 对吧？
这个东西没有认证，所以没有往对外面讲。
是那个拜俄的那个客户在问。
Коллега, если вас интересует 324 GS, мы потом после презентации отправляем вам спецификацию на почту. 324 GS сейчас пока только продается в Китае. Мы сейчас подали заявку на оформление необходимых сертификатов для экспорта. но сейчас, в данный момент, он недоступен для продажи за рубежи.
它应该那个可以使用当的那个当地的那个认证，可以销售吧？
销售是可以销售的。
Коллега, это можно обсуждаться с нами после презентации, либо со своим дистрибьютором. Спасибо. Старк, 你还给他们看那个截图吗？
暂时还没找到。
哦，那算了吧，那晚一些发给他们吧，好吧？
行。
Коллеги, скриншот насчет подключения сторонних виндоров через наш KYLAND мы поделим тоже также в онлайн-диск. Просто он находится в другом компьютере. У кого есть еще вопрос? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Все, коллеги. Уважаемые коллеги, спасибо за ваше время. До завтра в 9 часов. Stark, thank you very much. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.